And welcome back, Peacemakers. You have now come back to join me, AJ. Gonna make some oxtails tonight. I'm so excited about it. Gonna do a little something different. I normally just do something simple, some butter beans, oxtails, maybe a little bit of onion, but saw this really nice recipe online, so I'm gonna try it out. Come here, let me show you what I got. I got some beautiful oxtails. Now these are not all of the oxtails. I actually have some browned off already. But I just wanted to show you how they're going to look and what they look like, without being cooked. They're already seasoned, and I'll go over my seasonings in a minute. I have some onions and some carrots and some celery here that I'm going to be adding to it as well. That's going to go for my sauce and little veggies inside of the oxtails. Here I have some thyme and 5 bay leaves. My seasonings include black pepper, garlic, granulated garlic, and granulated onion powders. I have some sea salt right here, Worcestershire sauce, my Goya adobo. I love Goya adobo always. 2 cans of beef broth. I have some rice I'm going to be cooking up with that as well. My veggies, I'm going to be doing some roasted Brussels sprouts tonight and some roasted butternut squash as well. Looking forward to doing all of this for you, showing you how to make some really good stuff. So, as I said before, I do have some already browned off, but I need to get my pan hot for you so I can show you how to actually brown them and get everything started. So come back with me, okay? Alright, so we are back, and now I'm going to start on the oxtails. I have the raw ones right here, but I have some that I browned off already, and you want to go ahead and get that brown color on them like that, because once it's cooking in the sauce, you won't be able to obtain a brown color like that. So I have my pan heating up nicely here. I am going to make sure I ventilate the area because I do see a little smoke already. I'm going to add some oil into the pan. And basically it's just going to be enough to coat the pan itself. Now this is kind of dangerous, guys, because you do have a little moisture inside of the oxtails themselves, so just be very careful. So my daughter is normally my camera person, so she wants to hand it over to me to do this part, and I totally understand. Alright. So when you add it, you want to make sure that the pan is hot. That is very hot. So, start adding the oxtails. Get a nice color. And any brown bits obtained at the bottom, you want to go ahead and keep those there for a nice flavor. And you don't want to overcrowd your pan either, because then it's on brown. And you're not looking to cook them, you just want to get them nice and, brown in color. Now try to make sure that I season my food very well. You don't want any bland food. That's one of the worst things to do to food. Just don't put any salt in something. Oh my God. One of the worst things. Alright, so what we're waiting on now is just to obtain that beautiful color. We're going to come back when I'm ready to flip it. Alright, and we are back. And it is time to flip. So let's do that. And it's beautiful color, beautiful brown color. And this fat, I definitely want to get some brown on that fat right there. So I'm going to be turning that one over additionally on that fat side. Alright, little guy. Cool. Alright, so when I am ready to take this out, I will show you what everything looks like, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this batch too. It's only a few more left. After I finish drying them up, I'm going to come back to you and show you how to start your sauce. Stay tuned. Alright, so I decreased my oil down to 5. I had it on 6. I think I need it high just to get the color that I want. And now I am making the vegetable stock at the top. So there's brown bits at the bottom of the pan that I want to get inside of the onions, inside of the celery, and the carrots. Once this cooks down, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. 2 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm going to add my seasonings that I have been using all the whole time. The adobo, the salt, the pepper, onion, garlic. All of this is going inside the pan. Once I have all this cooked down, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. I'll start adding the OxTails in, and we can really get cooking, okay? Bye. Okay, and so everything is cooked down beautifully, as you can see here. Let me show you. All of that brown goodness has cooked up off the bottom of the pan onto the vegetables. Fantastic, man. You have to have those flavors in there because that's going to help build your sauce. And if you're making any sauce from scratch, you really should consider doing this too. Now I'm going to add 2 heaping tablespoons of flour. And this is a thickening agent for my sauce. And we're going to let this cook with the vegetables and those beautiful seasonings. I'm actually going to add a tablespoon of my house seasoning, the blend that I use. I'll add that in there because I season everything. Alright, we're going to let this cook down for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to add our beef stock and our oxtails. And so now we're going to be taking care of our veggies. Now, I've already got my oven set to 400 degrees. We're going to show you how to season the Brussels sprouts, at least how I like to season them. Now, I cooked breakfast this morning, so I have some leftover sausage oil that I like to use because it does have a really nice seasoning to it anyway. So I'm going to gather all of my Brussels sprouts towards the center, and I'm going to pour that oil all over it. Making sure I get all of the Brussels sprouts. Beautiful. And I'm going to also put some vegetable oil on my butternut squash as well. Because I will be seasoning both of these the same way, I might as well just go ahead and take care of them at the same time. Just some oil, just coat the whole thing with oil. What I did was I halved the butternut squash. I took out all the seed and the membranes that were inside the cavity here, and just left you with the beautiful butternut squash itself. I'm going to put some pepper. Pepper on my Brussels sprouts as well. Okay, I'm going to put some garlic. And as you see, I'm getting basically like 2 pinches of garlic for my Brussels sprouts, and basically 1 for my butternut squash. Granulated onion. Okay. I'm going to use, only on the Brussels sprouts, I'm going to be using some Worcestershire sauce. Yes, and what I didn't mention before, oops, I'm going to be putting some sugar on the Brussels sprouts as well, because sugar is going to help it caramelize, and since I have a lot of salty flavors going on there, I'm going to put a little bit of sugar on top of the butternut squash too, because that actually brings out the flavor in savory items. If you put just a pinch of sugar on something, it works wonders. Alright, so now I'm going to take my hands, mix everything up together for my Brussels sprouts. Okay, I want to try to get them all downwards actually. So I'm going to get them all face downwards in that oil, inside of that Worcestershire sauce. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do is cook these for about 45 minutes. I'm going to check them. Now, when you're roasting, I love to get that dark caramelized flavor, that dark caramelized color. And there's a flavor. Excuse me. Oh, black pepper. So I like to get that flavor, and I want to see nice and brown on this part of the Brussels sprout. When it's caramelized and brown, it's beautiful flavor. So now let's spread them out a little bit. I made sure that the pan was nice and oiled too, so they won't stick. And we should be good to go. So I'm going to rub the seasonings onto the butternut squash. Alright, so I'm going to put these in a 400-degree oven. The butternut squash is going to be in for an hour. The Brussels sprouts will be in for 45 minutes, and then I'll check them to make sure that they're done. If they need more time, I'll definitely leave it in there. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Alright. And everything is cooking up beautifully. I had to add a little bit more oil to my mixture. And as you can see, I am allowing the vegetables to incorporate with the flour. It's already starting to change to a beautiful color. I want that flour to start getting a little dark, and it is. The darker your flour, just like you're making a roux, the darker the flour, the darker, your sauce is going to be. And you don't want that stuff to stick at the bottom either. So you got to keep stirring. Difficult to do this with one hand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this little stuff off the bottom. I'm going to come back, add the beef stock and the oxtails, and we're good to go. Alright, and now we're adding the beef stock. Got two 14.5 ounce cans of the beef stock. Okay, gonna get this nice and hot. Add the oxtails, and then we're gonna let this go for 3 hours in this beautiful liquid. Now, I'm thinking that I probably will have to add a little bit more water to it, or a little water to it anyway. Just depends on how well it covers the oxtails, because I do have quite a few. And so what I like to do, if that's the case, I will use, to measure out my water, proper water amount, I'll use the same can that the stock is in. That way you can get the flavor out of that can still, and still have basically like a flavored water to add to your stock. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to let it come up to a boil and add my oxtails. Okay, so now it is time to add more of our seasonings. I'm going to add a pinch or two of seasonings in here. And I like to taste as I go. So I'm only going to add a little bit of seasoning now, because that beef stock has its own saltiness and everything. I have salt and adobo seasoning inside of here. And I don't want to over season everything. I do have my herbs I'm going to go ahead and add to my pot as well. This is my thyme and 5 bay leaves. And I'm going to even add a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce. Okay. Give that a stir. And so basically, the oxtails are going to just relax, unwind, literally, in this hot pot for 3 hours. And once it's ready, I'll be happy to show you what it looks like. And I highly encourage you to, try this on your own. Great flavors. Alright, be right back. Alright, and the oxtails are starting to boil away. Once they get to a full boil, I will turn it down on simmer for 3 hours, and it looks like it's just not coming up to that. So, we're going to be in business in a few hours. Now, you can do this in a crock pot and let it sit overnight, and then it'll be done for you in the morning. I would still brown the oxtails first, just for that color, that color profile that you're looking for. So, We're going to put the top on this. And we're going to turn it down to simmer, which is about 1 for my particular stove top. We're going to let it go. I will see you guys in a few hours. Okay, and it has been actually 3.5 hours later, and they are looking wonderful. Now, a great way, first off, when you're cooking oxtails or anything that has a nice amount of fat to it, like when I showed you guys how it looked earlier, it had a lot of fat, so that fat is going to cook down. So it's very important that as you're cooking it, you have to skim the top of it. You see all of that clear liquid? Let me see if I can get a nicer picture. Yeah. That clear liquid is fat. So you want to try to skim as much of that fat off as you can, which I have been doing during the course of me cooking this. You don't really want to eat all that fat like that. But the rest of it is flavored. So I'm going to finish up taking the rest of the fat off the top of this, and then we're going to show you what the finished product looks like, because I do want to show you how tender they are too. Also, the herbs that I added in here too. You see the little thyme sprigs, and when you run across a bay leaf, go ahead and pull it out, because that is not edible. You don't want to serve that to anybody. They may choke. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish up, and I'll bring you back the finished product. Alright, so I have skimmed that extra fat off top, and it looks absolutely wonderful, guys. It looks like it's going to be very tender. So what I like to do is actually take one and test the tenderness, and I can already see that this is falling off. So it looks like it's very tender to me, but we got to test it and see. This is one of the thicker ones. Make a little adjustment here. Okay. Looks pretty good. Can you see how tender that is? You see? 3.5 hours. Some fantastically, like, I'm not even trying to tear it apart. I'm just tapping it, and it's just coming apart off the bone. Let me taste it. Oh my stars. Absolutely amazing, guys. You know? A little tender love and care. You have a very, very good dish. Now I'm going to get ready to pair it with this rice over here, my butternut squash, and my Brussels sprouts. I actually put some Parmesan cheese on top of. I had like a little Parmesan cheese left, so I decided to use that. And it's going to be fantastic, man. This is awesome. Thank you for joining me, you know, on this fantastic video. I had fun making it, and I'm looking forward to making more videos like this as well. I do want to apologize for the sound quality during the cooking, the browning part of my oxtails. I had the fan going, and I also had, you know, the sound of the fryer kind of drowned my voice out. So I'll make sure, excuse me, I'm still, I will make sure that the next time I speak a little louder so you guys can hear me. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. If there's a dish that you want to see me prepare, please let me know in the comments. You all have a beautiful, beautiful night, and I'm going to go eat. Good night.